What's up out there? I have big news for both my Perforate build and my Bone Shatter build. So we're going to start off on the Perforate side of house today. And the first thing somebody mentioned the other day is to swap out my Wildwood Ascendancy from the Warlock or whatever I was in. I had that because it reserved everything into life. I thought it was kind of a neat thing to do. It really didn't make a difference, and I didn't really understand how much of a difference like it didn't make until I actually switched over to Primalist. And I think they recommended the tinctures and all that. I really don't care for the tinctures all that much. The Primalist is much better in my opinion for this tray alone. Also for the charms that you can put in, it's just so, in my opinion, it's so much better. So I went with the Primalist, so we're swapped over to that. And that freed up a whole bunch of, everything was based on life before. It is now basically all my skills are moved over to mana, and that means I can reserve a bunch of stuff and things like it. It's just a different dynamic. I didn't want to reserve too much on my life on the other side, so big change there. And then I added in Pride. I've been running Vitality and Warbanner, but I added in Pride so that I can do a little more damage. That's why I'm fairly low on this right now. This is still pretty much just rebalancing everything constantly. I mean, this build is not based on anything that exists that's like known and proven is good. So it's basically my creation at this point. So the next piece of advice that I got was to switch out of Slayer and go into Gladiator, because Gladiator gets this big bleeding enemies you kill explode, dealing 10% of their max life as fizz damage. And then you get 20% more physical damage over time. So I went with this. Of course, you have to pick up Blood in the Eyes for that. Outmatch and Outlast. Pick this one up. It's got some Frenzy charges and chance to get Endurance and Frenzy charges. And then I also went with Arena Challenger. I just got this and I haven't really had much time to spend with it. Like the rest of these look like this one's talking about shielding and it's blocking. So I don't think it means you have to have a shield, but I was like, I'm not really interested in these. I don't think. I may swap to something. I don't know. I have to research a little bit further, but these that I picked actually sounded the best. The other thing I did is I started looking out at PoE Ninja, at some other builds that people had for Perforate, and there was a mixture of two-handed weapons, dual wield, sword and board, or axe and board, whatever it was. There was a bunch of different things on there. A lot of people didn't have any of this stuff taken on this side. I can't remember who I modeled this after. I don't remember all the changes that I made. And maybe this was in the video the other day. I can't remember exactly because I made changes to my other build as well. But basically, I think I did this today. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember. Maybe this was some of the stuff I rebalanced the other day. So I'm not going to dive into this thing too much. But the big changes that I made primarily was to go into Primalist and change over to Gladiator. So we are doing a little bit more damage. The POB on this doesn't really say I'm doing a whole lot of damage, but let's dive into a map here real quick. Just run something. Yeah, these are still like tier 1. What I'm working on at the moment is, and I did go and get my other Ascendancy. I still had to get my 4th one. So I went ahead, because when you redo your Ascendancies, you have to go back through the Ascendancy place. So what I did is I basically went into the easiest one that I could run and just ran back in there. And that was kind of all I did. But that's where my Bone Shatter update came from, because actually while I was running that, you get like 2 choices, because it's like the level 35 one. I think I had a choice of maybe adding a couple of percent quality to a gem or something. Like it was very, very, very lacking, not very much there. But I could add a couple of percent, or I could switch to a different gem. So I switched to a different gem, and it, put in one and get a different gem out of it. And it actually gave me Bone Shatter of Complex Trauma, which I hadn't had yet. And I guess I didn't really think about running the really easy Ascendancy things just to swap over and, maybe get a little bit of quality, or swap over, one gem or something like that. I could have been doing that a long time ago, doing the easier versions of the trials instead of trying to run the really hard ones. And, because the more you run, the more chances you get to do stuff and the more choices you get, which is kind of what I was looking at. but I'm not finding any of the nameless. So right now I have 408 out of 500. I need to get my next thing unlocked for this here. And I keep running into these purple dudes. This is all I find are these cultists everywhere. I don't get much of the yellow or much of the blue. All right, so, and it's not that I'm not seeing the blue, like I can see it, it's just not showing up. I get that purple stuff, or the purple people, so many times. I barely get any of the rest. It's incredibly frustrating because all I want to do is get done with that now. But I don't know. So basically what I've been doing and why I'm running this like I am, I'm actually just kind of running the map now. Typically what I've been doing for the last 10 or 12 maps is to just pop into the Wildwood and that's it. I'm just kind of running this to show the build, how the build's going right now. So once you get a good bleed on, you can, well, you get the explosion, but you get a bleed on, stuff just starts dying around you. Yeah. Did I make any other changes? I might have made some skill changes to this as well. So, grab that real quick. Boss should be up around here, I think. Oh, we got this guy too. So we'll go in here and kill all this off. Yeah, there's the boss. There was the boss. So what I'm hoping that this build could be is a good single target build, but it's kind of not so great right now. I think there's a lot of room to grow on it, and I've been watching a lot of stuff about bleed builds, and it doesn't sound like bleed builds have been in a good spot in a long time. I mean, I know melee builds haven't been in a good spot for a while, but apparently bleed hasn't either, so it might be a lost cause, but that's okay. I'm not terribly concerned about where this is. I'm more trying to learn how the build goes. I think it's kind of cool to see how this functions, and I'm really thinking long-term towards PoE 2, because once we get access to the closed beta on PoE 2, however that turns out, we're not going to know how to build anything, and we're going to have to start from scratch. And you know, I think there's enough of a base to try to learn this, that enough of this will transfer over, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of looking ahead at that and trying to understand how builds are created a little bit. So that is where Perforate is right now. I am level 84. I am easily leveling up right now. I'm not dying. So whatever's all gone into this, and I will say that my armor's really low, like way lower than it was. My evasion's lower. I think it's lower. And then, well, maybe I might be thinking about my other build, but then my resistances are not good either. So there's a lot of room to grow on this, but my equipment's not that great. And, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with it. So I would also add that I did make one other change to this, and that was up here. So instead of doing the cast 1 damage taken with Molten Shell and whatever the other one was, something about marking. I saw in one of the builds that somebody was running, they were doing Assassin's Mark and Mark on Hit. So basically it drops this Assassin's Mark, and I've leveled it up. Maybe, I don't know if I over leveled it or not, but I leveled it up to this, and basically it marks on your, where does it say that at? One of these two. Mark on Hit, trigger supported skill when you hit a rare or unique enemy. So this, instead of targeting everything in the area, it only targets the rares or uniques. And I've kind of envisioned this as kind of a boss killer. If it works out that way, I kind of thought it might be a good bossing type build. Now, I don't know if it's going to get there or not. That's just kind of where I've thought about the idea. I think that was it. I think that's all I've changed. Oh, no, that was on my other one. So, and then I put Molten Shell just directly on my move, so as I go around, it just pops off every once in a while, and that's kind of that. So that's the changes to the Perforate build. Let's talk about Bone Shatter. All right, on the Bone Shatter side. So, I did not tell you the DPS that I was getting in my video yesterday. I think I rattled off some number, but I was way off. So according to POB, just like if you go in and import your character and look at the stats just directly as it is, because I didn't monkey around with any of the settings or anything, I just took it all right in as it came in. The build that I had yesterday with the passive tree that I showed was doing 859,000 damage. So that's what it was doing yesterday. The only change, well, I've made 2 changes, in fact. I swapped out, I had something else here, but this is where my Frostblink or whatever would be, but I haven't been using Frostblink forever. So I put in Clarity The reason being is one of the problems I'm running into is that I'll be bouncing around a lot, you know, jumping around, leap slamming everywhere, and I would run out of mana very quickly because I don't really have a whole lot. So I would start fights with like no mana, and I don't have any way of regenerating anything. Everything's by leech. So I put clarity on here just to help that out a little bit. I probably shouldn't have leveled it up. I know it's only level 4, but it's starting to actually use more mana than it gives me. So I probably need to just either not bump that up, maybe start over from scratch or something. But the idea behind having that on here was just so that it filled up that little bit of mana a little bit quicker, because I don't have any way of regenerating mana. But 859,000 damage yesterday with the changes that I made putting this stuff in the sockets. Now, I've not changed anything else except for this Bone Shatter of Complex Trauma, and I've already got it up to level 18. It came at like 11 or 12% quality. I didn't have a 20% quality gem to swap out. I just threw a red gem in there, told it to give me one, and it gave me this as an option. I don't have any clue what the other two options were. I saw this and it instantly yanked it and said, that's the one I want. Just by changing that gem. So I had 859,000 yesterday. I have 1.9 million today. So basically that gem swap doubled my damage output. So I am not really noticing much of a difference. I am seeing that that's the Bone Shatter of Carnage I really like, but it does have a very limited damage to it. It is not nearly as good as this. I don't know if you can get this as good as that or not. Probably not. Apparently this is just going to be very gimped by comparison. But this one here actually builds up stacks. But the stacks it builds up, and I'm pretty sure as the stacks die off, I am seeing some damage taken. So I might need to get some more life leech or something in there. I don't have regen on this, and I can't regen. I don't think I changed anything in the passive tree. I think that was all on the perforate build. I thought I did change something though, but I can't remember. Maybe I didn't. The two builds are so close, and it kind of gets, the waters get a little bit muddy because I don't remember which one's which sometimes, because they are basically the same. I guess I hit that. So they're basically the same, and they kind of go into the same spots, and I've made a lot of changes to both builds in the last 2 days. So I'm pretty sure that's all I did. I think the node that I'm thinking about that I changed was on the other build, because I'm not seeing it on this one. So do we have anything that is cool to run? I'm fairly close to running him, but not right now. Can we do anything cool on here? Nothing there. So let's find a map to run real quick here, and I will show you. Lava Chamber's not bad. Ivory Temple. Let's do an Ivory Temple. I don't remember this map. I don't remember the boss on it. Less recovery. Let's bounce that and see if we can get something different. Yeah, okay, whatever. So we'll run a tier 16 map. And I would also add that I am now down to 300 depth in Delve. I made my way down there. Oh yeah, we're gonna fight those one guys. I do remember the end of this, I think. So we'll juice this up just a tad, see how things go. Things die fairly well. Very well. Yeah, there's the stuff I need for the other build. See it all day long over here, don't see it over there. Yeah, that's fine. Isn't that... Oh, guess I can't grab that. Thought that was one of those blue ones you grab. Maybe it was. No? Not very many of these things. Alright, so apparently it was a waste of time to come in here. But we'll juice this up for a second and I'll just get out of here. Unfortunately, you can't just get out of this place easily. I keep seeing people show maps for this like they've figured out what it looks like. I'm curious if it's actually one map or several different ones. Because I've seen at least one or two different pictures of what people think this is. All right, let's go in here and see if we can die. Or not die, actually would be the better thing. It's been dodgy. Man, it has been really dodgy on some of these. Oh, nope, get out of there. Did not mean to do that. It has been super dodgy on some of these. So the problem that I run into is once I get that, I can see the stacks up there building up. Like I'm at 6 stacks, 5 stacks. You can see when it kicks off, it actually, I think my health drops. I think I've noticed that, and I've almost died a few times, but I've been able to pull it out and not. So I don't know how much my luck's going to last on that. But the extra damage on this is just massive. I mean, if it's getting that kind of damage, and I finally, not that I didn't believe anybody, but I finally see exactly what is meant by the tooltip DPS doesn't match. Because if I go down here, this tooltip DPS is like, I don't know, 70,000 or something like that. If it dies off completely, it's like the other one yesterday was what, 200,000 or something like that. This thing drops off and it's like 70,000. It's nowhere near what it was. So, I mean, I understood that there was a difference, but it's kind of one thing to say, yeah, there's a big difference, but it's another to actually see how drastic that difference is. You know, I kind of feel like I might have changed something on my skills too. My support gems. We getting bothered here? Yeah, we are. All right, let me kill this stuff off real quick here. Nah, buddy, I don't want to deal with you. Let's see, drop those things off there. The bosses are over here. Can we go over here and just not be bothered? All right, drop these things off. I thought I changed something on here. No, I guess I didn't. Maybe that was on the other one too. Because I thought I swapped... Yeah, I guess it was on the other one. Again, this stuff kind of all just bleeds together. So let's go kill a boss real quick here. Let's go do that and see what happens. I mean, we're doing fairly well here. Drop these two. Hit the gas. These guys are just... That's it. You're done. Goodbye. So, yeah, we're seeing some really good results off of this, and I think this is not the map that I need. I cannot get that one map. I just cannot get it. I don't know how many. It's the Cursed Crypt. Isn't that? Oh, Bone Crypt. Okay. This sucks. I got one map, and I can't get it. So anyway, huge progress. Huge progress. I think I've already got that diamond ring, so we'll throw that up on the pile there too. So yeah, very massive progress, and I'm looking forward to going much further with this. I think the bossing will be a little bit easier now. I'm hoping. I really hope it goes a lot better. And let's go look at Delve. I am down to 303 right now. So we'll go run one of these real fast. Just to show 300 depth on a SSF. I know this is probably not that unusual, but I'm here for the first time. So get out of that shit right there. Yeah, this is definitely starting to get a little bit more difficult. I don't know what I need to do for like armor and stuff like that, but I'm going to have to start keeping an eye out. Maybe looking at some possible armor changes. The cool thing is the armor that I have on this build would go on the other build as well. So I could theoretically kick stuff down if I upgrade this stuff in some way. The problem is what I run into as my limitations of crafting and everything. Like I'm not that, there's a divine. There's my 1 divine per hour. So my crafting is very limited or my crafting capabilities are very limited. So, let's see here. We'll go down to 305. So my crafting capabilities are super limited, and I'm not that great with it yet. But what I should start doing is, or what I should do is go back to farming essences and stuff. I mean, this is going to do so much more damage. This is so much better. I can get my spell suppression and everything on here. But the funny thing is, I've looked at some other builds, and other people aren't as worried about spell suppression as this build here is. So I might do some more research and see if there's... I think I said it yesterday. Oh, he's gotten ahead of me. I think I said it yesterday that there wasn't really a whole lot of difference in the builds that I was looking at compared to what I've got, and there really wasn't. But maybe there's something worth looking at. I'm not sure. What are we at here? Why is that stuff way over there? I think I've already got that. But we'll grab it. Why is everything dark? And there's currency for me. So that's that. So we're down to over 300. I mean, it's easily handling that. There's no issues with it. I could certainly do with some more armor, some more evasion, things like that. And there's some options close. If somebody mentioned that I could drop this down to, there's a specific thing I could get on here that would increase the, that would like double the quality or double the, I don't remember how it's phrased, but double this. So it would be like 24% damage or something like that. It would have to be a lot because this adds a lot of damage here. You've got 20% damage here, another 20%. Well, I don't necessarily think the ailments matter, but a lot of increased attack speed, accuracy, a lot of extra damage on here would have to double a lot. So I could potentially re-roll this large jewel socket into something different. I do have some spares for it. If I go back to the hideout here, I do have a few alternates. I ran this one because it had more points, but I guess I understand some of you guys were making some good arguments for going with one that has less. Like this has got 9 passives, and with all 3 of these are increased phys damage. So there's 12%, 12% with two-handed weapons, 12% increased physical damage, and another 12% physical damage. But this one only adds 9 passives. I could keep re-rolling this to get better things. Like this one here's got 3% to all resistances, a little bit of intelligence on here, and some increased damage. So that's cool. But I don't think it's going to have as much as the ones that I've got now. And I would probably need to roll whatever I have to go back and look, but roll whatever they said I needed to get on this to make it to where it doubled up everything. Like it doubles whatever all the little passives give you. So that's an option. I also was kind of tinkering around with the idea. I know I would take probably a dramatic hit to my DPS, but I actually considered changing all this back to where it was because I've got this, with this new gem, it's given me so much more damage. I know it's not, like I know I'm better with the damage that I have now, but I could get the stuff that I've taken back out, back into it. I might consider that. Maybe I'll run that through POB and just, load this on a test tab and see how it goes and see how that works. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's what I want to do yet or not. It seems like it might be a good idea, but then I would lose a lot of DPS. I would gain my armor and evasion back though, and I would be more in line with swapping things out the way Karn has it because I would get my accuracy and the little bit of resistance back over here. And at some point, if I was to get 2 more levels, I could go over here to get this section of stuff here, and one of these is to take this damaging ailments cannot be no, not that one. It's the your elemental resistances cannot be lowered by curses. So I think that replaces this over here maybe or something. There was something you moved over to here. So I was thinking about that. I might make that change. I'm not sure. There's a lot of different things to do. Plus, I could look at somebody else's PoE Ninja and see what they've got currently. If I could find somebody that's close to what I've got right now, maybe I could see if they had some slight tweaks that I could make that are slightly better than coming off down to this side here. I know, just some things I thought about. I would check out and see how it goes. So anyway, massive progress on both builds. The Perforate build is much better, much more comfy to run. This build is just gone through the roof on damage and everything. Now it's just going to be catching up armor, evasion, whatever all else I need to fix on this thing. So that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.